Joe Biden and Jill Biden have released their 2022 taxes. And even though right wingers are trying to make a controversy out of them, I have to tell you, there is nothing controversial about the Biden income nor the Biden taxes. But David, they made more than $500,000. Let's go through it. The Bidens did indeed make $579,000 last year as a household, and they paid a 23.8% federal tax rate, plus, of course, state tax as well. Now, there are people seeing this and saying, oh my goodness, this is just like Trump. Super wealthy, multimillionaires. No, guys, no. Without passing any value judgment over income, it's very important to understand that Trump made like $400 million a year during his presidency. It was about $1.6 billion throughout the entire presidency, if I recall correctly. And is a multi-billionaire, at least as far as we know. Joe Biden is a multimillionaire. That's true. So's Bernie Sanders. I've explained before, if you've been making six figures for 30 years, you should be a multimillionaire by the time you're 80. Even if you save only a modest amount of your income and put it in low-cost index funds and wait for 30 years, if you're not a multimillionaire, you've messed up. You're really bad with money. That's not controversial. Now, $579,000 combined income. Presidents make $400,000 a year. Is it 400 or 440? It's around $400,000 a year. That's the presidential salary. That's the vast majority of their income. Jill Biden also made, what was it here? About $80,000 teaching. And they ended up, $82,000 teaching at Northern Virginia Community College, totally standard, uncontroversial salary. So that gets us to $482,000. And then there was a little bit of income. I don't remember what it was for. They made some donations to some charities and blah, 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 blah. So what is the right saying about this? The best they have is Joe Biden is using an S corporation for his book profits. This is the best they have. And in fact, there's a Fox News article. They've gone at this before. This is a couple years old. Multimillionaire Biden's use of S corporations draws scrutiny by Republican who sees hypocrisy. I even got emails from some in my audience who said that there are people on the left criticizing Biden for using an S corporation for his book. Listen, guys, I'm calling this stuff like it is. There is nothing controversial about Joe Biden running his book profits through an S corporation. I got emails about this being shady and just like Donald Trump. Give me a break, okay? Only if you know nothing about taxes could you come to the conclusion that simply having an S corporation is in any way sketchy. First of all, authors don't set up a C corp for a book. You just don't do it. If they did, then you have to pay yourself via salary and dividends. It just doesn't make any sense. If you're a small business like the author of a book and you want to separate those revenues from just yourself as an individual sole proprietorship, the S corporation or a partnership might make perfect sense. There's nothing illegal. There's nothing shady. It's a standard practice. It's pass-through income. It goes on your personal tax return. It's not evasive. It's not a loophole. It's a completely standard way that small businesses that don't want to just be sole proprietorships would set up revenue in this case. You get some liability protection. You also, listen, if you have a full-time job, in the case of Joe Biden, senator, vice president, president, it's very logical that if you have a defined and distinct project like a book, that you would separate that and not run it as a sole proprietorship through your social security number. You would get an EIN and set it up as an S corporation. It lets you pay yourself a reasonable salary, take the remainder as distributions. You can potentially reduce your tax liability slightly because it can potentially reduce self-employment taxes. But Joe Biden's maxing out on that anyway because he makes $400,000 a year and the cap is in the mid 150s. This is like milk toast stuff. And whether you're on the left or the right and you're saying Biden's just like Trump because his book profits run through an S corporation, you're either arguing in bad faith or you just don't understand even the basics about small business taxes. So I don't think we need to entertain it any further. $579K in income when you're the president and your wife works, that makes a lot of sense. Paid, we can say, well, the tax at that level of income should be higher. Fine. But an effective tax rate federally of 24% and then paying Delaware tax, totally reasonable, totally expected. I think that's a higher tax rate than Warren Buffett pays, by the way, even though the Bidens made a lot less. There's nothing controversial here. Biden paid his taxes. He released his tax returns. If we could only say the same thing for Donald Trump.